everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this DIY, I'm going to use the leftovers from my crystal clear pumpkin. Now these are some ladles that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I actually purchased 16 of them. And if you've seen the DIY, you know why my ladles look like this. Rather than throwing them away, I decided to hold on to them and try and come up with a DIY to use them in. And I think I did. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is find the longest ones. They are a little bit different in length. So what I did was I went ahead and cut one piece and then measured it up against another one and then cut. So what you do is once you cut the size that you want, what you do is just go ahead and line it up. The first one that you cut, hold it, and you'll need your hot knife again, and just go ahead and lean it up against the bottom and go right across, and that'll give you your line. So now I have my line, and now I know where to cut. Go on the inside and score it the same way, and then just pop it, just like that. And then you can use your hot knife to cut off any extra, okay? So that's how you do that. Okay, so you will need 5 of these in total. And the next thing you'll need is one of these Dollar Tree bowls. And there's no need to remove the label because I'm going to cut the inside out. Let me get my little Timu fan. And so what you do is just keep going all the way around. And here's one that I already cut ahead of time. And this is what it looks like. See, it's gone. The center is gone. So now what you want to do is just cut this completely in half. And that would be from this point to this point. So I'm going to mark it here and here. So I'm going to go right in the center of this point. And then I'm going to take my time and score it all the way down. And then just go down again, take your time. Now I'll go ahead and do it on this side, but I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so I'm back. Now, once you cut your pieces, you can use your hot knife to even this out, but it's a little bit difficult, or you can use some sandpaper, but I'm going to use this. I think it's a wire cutter, and I'm just going to cut away the extra that was left behind. Be careful, you don't want this to pop you in your eye. And as you can see, it comes off really easy. So you just want to trim that smooth. And then if you need to, you can still use some sandpaper to smooth it out even more. So now that we have that done, let's take our 5 pieces that we cut from our ladle. Alright, so what I'm going to do is glue these in the center, and there's a little bit of a bow. You want that bow to face downward. So I'm going to glue this downward, and there's that little bit of a ridge on each one. You're going to lay this on top of that ridge, okay? And I'm going to use some of my ACRYLIC glue to glue these down. Now I'm going to put one on each side. Put my glue here. Make sure my bow is turned the right way. And now you want to put this one right in the center. Okay, so when you put your centerpiece down, it's going to keep sliding because of where it's located. So make sure that it's even, or looks close to being even. And then put down some masking tape to help hold it. Like that. And then put the other one on the other side. Once I do that, I'll come back. Okay, let me slowly turn this around. Once you're done, this is what you'll have. Okay. Next up, I have 4 of these mirrors from Dollar Tree. So I'll go ahead and remove the feet from each one. And I'll remove the sticker as well. Next, I have this canvas from Dollar Tree, and this is the 11 by 14 inch canvas. So I'm going to lay this down and then place my mirrors on top. And I'm lining them up with this edge. The next one will go here. Alright, I'm making sure that everything is lined up. And it's okay if it goes over the edge just a little. So now I'm going to take some masking tape and put it on top, just to hold the mirrors together. Okay, so now I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut the shape of the mirror off the board. So I'm just going to hold my mirrors down and lean inward with the blade and score it. Now you want to go along this side. And now I'll just use this square to help me guide my blade. I want to score this a little bit more. Now line this up with the edge of your table and pop it. Same thing with this side. Now if you have some rough edges, just take your scissors and cut. So now we'll take our mirrors again and glue them to this piece. This time around I'll be using some of this Gorilla Glue because I really don't have that much left in the tube. Add more tape. So I'm going to let both pieces set up for a few hours. Then I'll come back and start putting things together. Okay guys, I'm back. And it has been a couple of hours. I think the glue has set up enough so that I can move on to the next step. So what I want to do now is glue this at an angle, but it doesn't fit flush. It's not flat. I have these round clear pieces that I picked up from Amazon. Some of you guys probably recognize these from a DIY where I use these to make checkers. So I'm going to glue these 2 circles on here, and this will give me something to glue my top onto. Okay, they have like a film on them, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove that film. More than likely you won't have these round pieces unless you recreated my checkerboard. You can use mirror tiles or anything else. I actually have some small mirrors that I can use, but I just chose to go with these just to use them. Okay, so I'm just going to get an idea of where they need to be. So I'm going to take some of my Gorilla Glue and glue both pieces down. I'm going to let these dry for about an hour. Then I'll come back and then I'm going to glue this on top. All right guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right in the center on each side. And then carefully place this in the center. All right, now we're going to go on this side and check. Now let's take more tape. Alright, so now I'll let this dry for about 2 hours and then I'll come back and move on to the next step. Okay guys, so I want my wall sconce to stand away from the wall because I want to add some lights to the back. So I'm going to glue this crate to the back of it. But first I need to put a hook on here. So I'm going to use one of these sawtooth hooks. So I'm going to nail it on this side and I'll put my glue here. And I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to help me hold this tiny, tiny nail. And then hold it in place and hit it with a hammer. Okay? Same thing with this one. just like that. We'll add this to the back of our wall sconce. Okay, so moving right along, I have the small shot glass that I found at Goodwill. And I'm going to use it to hold my lights inside my wall sconce. And I want to add a dangle underneath here. So again, I'll use my square beads. All right, so what I'm going to do is take a little bit of glue and put it right in the center. It doesn't take much. And then I'll put my bead. I'll let this completely dry, and once it dries, I'll paint my bead silver. I've honestly done that ahead of time, so this is what it'll look like. So yeah, that's ready to go. Back to our wall sconce. What I'm going to do now is remove the piece of tape. And what I want to do now, because I don't like the way this looks, the way it connects, but I want it to stay clear. So I'm not going to add any kind of bling across here. What I'm going to do to camouflage this is add some of the Dollar Tree acrylic diamonds. But in order for me to do that, I need to make some holes. Not only will I do this, I'll do a hole here, 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 here. Same thing on the other two on the side. And then I'm going to put a bigger hole in the center, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Here I have my heating tool, and this is a different tip. What I want to do is just burn a hole right in the center. And now I'll do the same thing here. And now I'll go down here and do the same thing. And now I'll put a larger one in the center. I put a larger hole here because I'll put a larger diamond in it later. I have this snowflake ornament that I received about 2 years ago, and this is from Vanessa M. She's one of my moderators here on YouTube. She's my YouTube daughter, and I want to glue this on here. So I'm going to remove this. And I'm also going to remove these little loops. Alright, so I have this cup here. I'm going to use it to hold my snowflake. Now I'll take some more of my Gorilla Glue and put it right in the center. And this will go right on top, flat side down, making sure it's right in the center. So now I'll let that dry. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and heat up my hot glue gun so I can glue my Dollar Tree diamonds. Okay guys, so I had a little bit of a raised area on most of these. So I took my needle nose pliers and popped that off. And make sure you put on like some protective glasses if you decide to do that. Now, here I have my Dollar Tree acrylic diamonds, and I'm going to hot glue them in place. Now if I use my Gorilla Glue, it's going to make this cloudy, so we don't want that. Again, it's just like when I use my rhinestones. I like to use hot glue. So you want to put that just inside that circle. And then put your diamond in place and hold it down. Turn around, do the same thing on this side. Once the glue sets up enough on here, I'll come back and put that right in the center. Let's go ahead and address our little bead on the bottom. Here I have a chandelier pendant that I attached to a garland that has 4 crystals on it. Then I have the jump ring here, and I'm just going to open the jump ring and slide it right through my bead. And now we have this, okay? Next up I have 3 small rhinestones, and I just want to cover that up on my bead. I don't want it known that that's a bead. Put that there, and then I put one on each side. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this out thoroughly. Clean my glass so we can glue it in place. I'm back, and again, my raw edges are up here, the ones that I cut. Now I'm going to add some more of my glue onto this glass so I can glue it down. I want my bead to be facing this way. So I'm going to put my glue here. And now I'll just slide this right inside. And now I add a piece of tape to make sure that it doesn't move. And put a piece of tape in here. So I'm gonna let all this sit up for a while and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so now this has set up enough to where I can glue it on here. This diamond was an extra diamond from my latest perfume bottle DIY. And I'll leave a link to that video as well. So more than likely you won't have this size unless you decide to purchase it. Here's an alternative. You can take 2 of the glass discs from Dollar Tree and glue them together and then glue it on top of your ornament, whatever you decide to use. So now I'm just going to take some hot glue and put it right in the center like I did before. And I'll put my ornament in place, making sure that it's in the center. Okay, so honestly guys, we are almost done. I'm going to let all this sit up for a while. Then I'll come back and add some bling around the frame of here. I'm going to glue this to the back of my mirror. And then I'm going to add some string lights around the back. And then finally, I'll add 2 rows of the diamond bling right along the side of here. And we'll be done. All right, again, so I'm just gonna let this sit up and then come back. Okay guys, I'm back. So ahead of time, I went ahead and put 1 row of mirror towel around both of my raw edges. And I left 1 exposed so you can see how it's done. Now the mirror towel does come with adhesive, but it will still move. So I'm going to reinforce it with some of my Gorilla Glue. So now I'll take 1 strip of my mirror towel and put it on there. And of course I'll come back later and clean up the fingerprints. Now for our raw edge here, I cut 2 rows off this diamond bling and I'm going to put it here. And here's the other side. Next I have this little thing that I use to hold my cups when I decorate them. So I'm going to lay this on top, just like so. You guys remember the hook? So now I'm going to glue this right in the center. And now I'll tack it down with some masking tape. So I will allow this to dry for about 12 hours. Then I'll come back and add some lights around the back. Then I'll let you guys see what it looks like. Okay guys, I'm back and it has been about 12 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tape. This is how we will hang up our wall sconce. So now I'm going to add some string lights to the back of it. And again, by putting this here, I'm going to have that extra room to give it a glow from behind the wall sconce. Okay, so I've already unraveled my string lights. So the first thing I'll do is glue this down up here with the screws on top so that I can change the batteries when I need to. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and glue it here, right in the center. Now, because I only want to go around once instead of twice, I'm going to start here at the top. I'll just put that loop right here. Okay, just hold it down. Now, most of you guys have seen me do this before, and it's a little time consuming. This is the only part of my DIY that I'm not too happy about. I'll use my Temu fan to help cool down the glue so that the process will go faster. Okay, so now what I'll do is go ahead and make a loop in my wire. Once I do that, I'll hold it down, move my fingers out the way, and then put down a little bit more glue. Again, make another loop. And you don't want your lights right on that edge, okay? Okay everyone, so this is my completed wall sconce. I'm going to clean up all the glue webs, remove this tape, clean my mirrors, turn my string lights on, then hang it on the wall and let you see what it looks like. And here are both of my completed wall sconces. Now, this DIY was a bit of a challenge because I chose to make these wall sconces without spending any money. I chose to use things that I already had on hand, and I think they turned out beautiful. Since I used a snowflake ornament to decorate them, they would be perfect wall decor for the Christmas holiday and into the winter months ahead of us as well. Okay, this concludes my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Okay everyone, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.